You know, you gotta dress up a little bit.
Yeah. But no. I gotta get with the program.
Okay. Wait, you said wait a minute.
We're live.
Okay. Regular commission meeting, 7:00 p.m., Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. Pledge of allegiance, please. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Roll call.
Commissioner Jacobs,
Here.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Here.
Vice Mayor Morset,
Here.
Mayor Mohammed.
Here.
We have quorum.
Okay, thank you. Are there any deletions or withdrawals to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. To the agenda, not the consent agenda, the whole agenda?
No.
Yes, to the whole agenda?
No, just
Okay, so I'll take a motion to accept the agenda as is.
I'd like to pull.
We're not there yet.
Not there yet.
We still on number 4. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the agenda as is?
Okay.
So that we can discuss the items on the agenda
No, I want to pull one.
from consent. We're not down here yet. We still
Okay.
here. I'll get to that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good with the agenda as is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, since there are no deletions or withdrawals from the main agenda, we're going to move on to, are there any presentations? None. We're moving on to number 6. Are there any public comments related to the agenda items or good and welfare?
Yes, we do have one.
Okay. Come on down.
Is that now?
Hello, everybody. Good evening to everyone here. My mayor, Mohammed, my husband, Vice Mayor Morset, Eric Morset, Mashika, and Bill, Jacob, and the clerks, Marlene and Susie, and the lawyer, and everybody that are in here, and the chief, of course. Okay, I wanted to do this last year, but we didn't have time because we have a lot of things going on. So I'm doing it now. And it's a thank you for everyone. And I got names written down.
Nilda, if you could just read your name and address for the record.
Okay, my name is Nilda Morset, and I live at 33005 Southwest 23rd Terrace, Pembroke Park, 33005. In Florida, 33005. I am not here because of my husband, Vice Mayor Eric Morset. I am here as a resident of town of Pembroke Park, and no one had asked me to say these things that I am about to say. I am saying this on my own. Thank you for the town clerks, Clerk Marlene Martel. In case I don't pronounce your name, please help me. For doing a great job organizing the commissioner meetings and records, and she doesn't deserve to get fired because she is a working professional. Susie, for having the talent of creating all the activity and events, writing out the flyers, and for being in charge of the food drive, which has been going smoothly. And also Stephanie that helps her. And I want to thank all the volunteers for a great job they have done. And for packaging all the food for the people. Elba Hodgkins, Karen Gray, and the rest of the volunteer that help us pack and distribute. I know them by face, but names I'm not too great on. Thank you, Mark, for arranging the holiday last year for Christmas. It was beautiful. It was at Rick's Steakhouse restaurant. It was a beautiful restaurant. We had a great time. We feel like a family there. We enjoy ourselves and the company. It was the food was very delicious and was very cozy and beautiful in there. I really liked it. We felt like a family and we enjoy our company. We truly had a great time there. Thank you, Chief Shana, Dabney. I know I'm not good with names, sorry. And all the police officers that work under you. You guys have been doing a great job. I could see them all the time around the park, going around and checking everything. And they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job because they're keeping the peace, and they are heroes. The reason I say they are heroes is because because they put their life on the line. They risk their life for the people in Pembroke Park. They're always facing a lot of dangerous situation at that park and everywhere else. So I appreciate and I'm grateful that we have police officers that's under your instructions. And thank you for being a good chief police. I want to thank also, they're protecting the community of Pembroke Park. Thank you for all the jobs all of you are doing. The acting manager, Alim Gachim, he's not here.
Oh, he's sick today.
And the interim town authority, Jacob. I cannot pronounce your name. Horowitz, okay. Thank you all for a great job you have done and still doing. And I want to thank Mayor Muhammad, Ashira Muhammad, Vice Mayor Eric Morissette, Clerk William, which we call him Bill Hopkins, and Acting Clerk Commissioner Mashika Kasim. Did I pronounce that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All the work you guys been doing. I don't think we have a great, everybody here, they're working as a team. And you guys are doing a great job. I hear a lot of things out in the street because I go around giving pamphlets and people talks to me. And they're good things about you guys. So I wanted to thank you from them and from me. Okay? You guys are doing a great job, and if everybody could just, keep on doing the things you are doing, this community is going to move up, For the record, I want to say that I'm a Christian. My husband and I are faithful, respectful to each other. Marlon, Martell and her husband, Mr. Pazzillo,
Pazzillo.
are also faithful and respectful to each other. In other words, we do not fool around. We don't cheat on each other. Commissioner Jacob, I'm sorry to tell you this. You filed a complaint with the Florida Commission of Ethic that Marlene Martell, it's my turn to talk. Thank you. Has a close personal relationship with her husband, with my husband, Vice Mayor Morissette, which goes beyond a professional one. I can assure you that it's not true, but it shows the extent you will go to discreet people that have integrity and stand for what is right. Commissioner Jeffrey Jacob, I'm probably pronounced your first name wrong. In this new year, let's all change. Let's all work as a team. And let's leave all the things in the past and turn to a new leaf this year and work with the people, because we are here for the people of Pembroke Park, the town of Pembroke Park. We're not here for ourselves. So let's all work together as peace, with peace, unity, and respect. If you want respect, you have to give respect. Let's behave professionally and leave the lies, curse words, and misunderstanding from the past in 2023. And let's move on to a new year of 2024. The new year represent a new chapter for the town of Pembroke Park. Continue to be part of the team. Please, let's be a team. Thank you very much for everybody listening to this, and thank you, I'm sorry I have to say this, but I had to do it. I had it in my heart, and I had to let it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any more public comments?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Thank you, Nelda. We appreciate all the hard work you do, volunteering your time to the community as well. So we thank you. Consent agenda. Does anyone want any items pulled off of the consent agenda?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Commissioner Jacobs.
7.1, 7.2. Line items.
Okay. That's it for you?
Yep.
Okay, Eric, Vice Mayor.
I'd like to pull 7.6 for later discussion.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Nope. Okay. I will entertain a motion to adopt the consent.
I do have one more item to pull as well.
Okay.
7.4.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda minus items 7.1, 7.2, 7.4, and 7.6. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ospika said made the motion, and Bill seconded.
Okay.
Okay, roll call.
Motion made by Acting Clerk Commissioner Christian, and seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morissette?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yep.
Okay. Now we'll take item 7.1, NFPBA 2024 conference. Okay, Commissioner Jacobs?
Yep. I have questions for the police chief regarding this.
Okay.
All right, you're requesting to attend the National Forum for Black Public Administrators. What is the main objective of the conference, and how do they align with the current with our current law enforcement strategies and community needs?
I was going to pull that item anyway, so it doesn't matter. I requested to pull the item prior to the meeting, so I won't be attending the conference.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just want to clarify, I'm so sorry, Chief. The chief did ask me to remove 7.1 and 7.2 since Commissioner Jacobs had also pulled it. I didn't realize that she meant as remove it, not as discussion later. So my apologies. So the first two items, 7.1 and 7.2, are completely withdrawn from the agenda.
I'm looking at you because I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the agenda, you certainly asked for any deletions or withdrawals from the agenda. Sounds like those two items were within that scope. If they are pulled by administration, they were placed by the police chief. She certainly has the prerogative to pull them.
Okay.
So if she's not looking for any action, they would be removed from the agenda.
Okay. Okay. So 7.1 and 7.2 are pulled. Do we need a motion to
No,
accept it?
no, they're just pulled by administration. They're removed from the agenda. No actions needed.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. 7.4. You want to talk about that, or you want me to just say that we missed the deadline?
Well, that's not the reason why I was going to bring it forth. I was bringing it forth because in addition to missing the deadline, I also didn't receive any response for any of the commission that wanted to attend. So if nobody's been attending, then there's no need to, set funding aside for that. If somebody is attending, it's $125 per ticket.
Okay. But we can just tell you about that. That doesn't need to be on the agenda if somebody wants to go.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
it was just put forth before.
Okay. We'll let you know before the 19th, I think it was, right? The January 19th or something like that. That's the deadline. If anybody wants to go.
You're asking me? I do not know what the deadline is for the event.
I felt like I saw January 19th for tickets.
Did you pull the?
Yeah, I think you're
Sarah
right.
also?
No, Sarah,
It was approved on consent. That item was approved. That was part of the
Okay.
consent agenda.
so that's what we're going to do. That's an X, that's an X. This is
No, it's in the
checked. This is what we're
sponsorship.
discussing. This is done.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Everything that doesn't have a circle is done. Done. Okay.
As long as this thing. Oh, here it is,
Right there, right?
right there.
Does it say January 19th somewhere?
For 125.
Right there. Deadline for tickets is Friday, January 19th.
Correct.
Okay, so just let you know by
Yep.
January 19th if you plan on attending or not.
Okay.
So that takes 7.4 out. 7.6, purchase of office furniture. So do you want to present, Musfik, or do you want to start, Eric, because you have your,
No,
There's
I
quotes.
pulled that for next workshop.
Yeah.
you want for next workshop? You have your quotes.
No, but I don't. I just saw it here. I don't receive it before, so I did not had it. I don't know. Did you send me or mail? So I have to look at it and then I will.
Can we just set a maximum amount not to exceed $5,000 since the quotes are for 43, 47, and
Which one?
the new quotes that came in the email today were for 43 and 47. There's three of them. I know that. I just can't see what it was. So 4,300 and 4,700 and Susie, can you pull it up? Because it kind of cut off on, or whoever got a calculator. 1899, 869, 459, and 450. Who wants to add that up? They're all under 4,800. Put it that way.
Yeah.
All three quotes are under 4,800. And if you want to look at the historical numbers, we have that as well as what was paid in the past per office. That way, we won't be waiting and having this come back up again. So that's what they paid in the past for the other offices. Her quotes are all under that number.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's an investment for the town to have good furniture, and regardless of who's using it.
Yeah.
So we can just get approval and then after, later on, I can choose it?
If the commission authorizes an expenditure of up to a certain amount,
Yeah.
with your option of selecting which furniture among the three quotes, that would be appropriate.
What was the highest amount there, Shara?
47, well, most,
$4,779.94.
Yes.
yeah, right? That's the largest one, because I can't add the 1899 plus the 869 plus the 450.
Yeah, so just,
May I suggest that we get something in the same style we have in all the other offices?
These are from the same company.
So we can use it later on in
Yeah.
other contexts, so we keep the
It's the same
same.
furniture. It's the same company, same furniture, same everything. So here were the quotes from the furniture for like the attorney's office, for the mayor's former office, for the, for what you call it. So it's all here. It's same company, same everything, same style, everything like that.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve up to 4,800.
Is there a second?
I second.
Mayor, just so you know, the amount that there is stated on the highest amount is $4,779.94, but it also says that chairs are not included in the estimate. So we need to include the chairs.
The 3 chairs?
Just nick yours.
Yep. Let's steal your chairs.
You took my office, now my chairs too. Just saying.
So unfair.
I know. Ooh.
so where is the chair code?
That
No,
was
there's chairs in there. For the 4779.94?
Yeah, it's right. The chair.
Yeah, the chairs are there.
so you get to sit, lady.
There's a star at the
That's why I'm getting it.
Okay.
Okay,
Was there a second? It was?
yeah.
Yeah, I second.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Okay.
And who seconded?
Eric?
Eric,
Okay.
The 2 lovely gentlemen are getting her furniture. Okay.
I'd say a soapbox will be fine.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor Morset. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs,
No.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem.
yes.
Motion passes 4 to 1.
Four to
Sorry.
one, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to skip around just because I know you don't want to stay, right? Okay. Kind of figured that. Okay. So 11.1, purchase of 2 new Ford F-150s. Come on down, explain what's going on here.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Abayo Manning. I'm a Client Strategy Manager with Enterprise Fleet Management. And we submitted for approval 2 Ford F-250s for the Public Works Department. When we spoke last week, you just wanted to see what would be the cost of purchase versus lease. We did over a 4-year term, 48 months. The purchase price of those 2 vehicles, these are all estimated numbers, but we would estimate at most $92,688 for those 2 vehicles. We could also lease those 2 vehicles, and the annual cost of leasing those 2 vehicles for a 48-month term would be between $10,200 and $10,800. So the cost would be $43,200 to lease to lease 2 vehicles. So it does come out a little cheaper. And additionally, if we were to just lease those 2 vehicles, it does allow space to, do more. So you have some additional older vehicles I'm meeting with Aleem about next week that you would also be able to lease those as well. And we could get your fleet a little newer as well.
I know I've leased dump trucks and things like that in the past. It comes with maintenance usually.
Yes, so these
I
come
notice
with,
we spend a lot of money on maintenance of vehicles.
exactly.
So this
And
would alleviate some of that spending.
yes, so the newer vehicles are gonna have a drastic impact on your maintenance cost. And we also fixed and budgeted the maintenance over the next 4 years on these vehicles. So that way, as the maintenance costs increase, you guys already are locked in at that fixed and budgeted rate. And we're using the shop that we added for the city that's in your tax base as well.
Great.
She's in trouble.
She's in trouble? Oh, boy. That's not good.
We're gonna put that in. Okay. I did speak with Aleem. He says, this is a conversation I had with him, was that, because we usually use the trucks past the 4-year time period.
Yes.
It would be better for us to purchase those vehicles because the cost was cheap, and the fact that we usually use them for 15 to 20 years versus having to keep paying every 4 years another $43,000 each year. But it's gonna be a decision up to you guys, because like the vehicles that we're replacing are literally like
They're
16 years old. So if you did the cost of 16 years on a lease,
Yeah, but just one thing I can add is that at the end of that 4-year year, you turn them in and you get new ones.
yeah, but then you're paying another 43,000.
But you also, one of the things that the city hasn't been taking advantage of is using the equity from those vehicles to put towards the purchase of new vehicles, which will drastically reduce the cost of your vehicles. Right now, you're basically running them till they're not worth anything. We're not able to get any equity from those vehicles. Additionally, you're paying so much more in operating costs because the maintenance on those vehicles is so high. So we've done the analysis. I'm actually doing an updated one to present to Aleem next week. It's up to you, but we do a financial analysis at the end of the term to see, should we keep it another year, another 2 years? What is the cost benefit with the equity and the maintenance cost on that vehicle?
Are we able to purchase them at the end of the lease?
So it's an
Like you would do like, if we were to lease a vehicle, they usually give it to us for like 10, 20,000 at the end of the lease. Are we able to purchase it at the end of the lease?
You can purchase it if you like to. But once again, we do the equity analysis and kind of go over different options with you to tell you what we recommend based on all the data we've pulled from your fleet.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. I had a conversation with Aleem just because I wanted to know, like, what did he want us to do for that? And because they were so cheap, they were only like 43,000 to purchase them. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys.
The information I just heard was $92,688 for the two vehicles. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, for both of them.
And the lease would save us approximately $14,000 a year.
Yes.
So what's
Times 4 years.
But then you're gonna come up with another $40,000 in the
$56,000.
next 4 years again.
No, you don't have to. You turn them in,
And then you're gonna start a new
get
lease.
new vehicles.
But then you're
at
gonna
a
start
higher
new lease.
price? At a higher price. But what's Aleem's take on this? Anybody know?
So yeah.
So that's what he told me earlier.
So Aleem, he does want to purchase, but once again, if you wanted to even purchase these two, and next time I can give you the analysis on we do a 10-year model, which I did before, and I can kind of really get into the numbers and go through it with you to show you how we can impact your the total cost of ownership over the next 10 years.
So do you guys want to table this till he's back
I think that's a good idea.
and let him have the conversation? Okay. All right. So I'll entertain a motion to table until Aleem is back.
Yeah, I motion to table this item till our interim town manager is back from his illness.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Morset, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor Morset,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs,
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Is there one more thing I can ask?
Go ahead.
So as of right now, I spoke to Aleem today. We have still JC as the authorized signer for the city. So when we do go ahead and figure out, are we going to purchase or are we going to lease? We just want to make sure that Aleem can sign until we have the city manager confirmed.
Okay. Attorney?
Yeah, when the item is approved at a future meeting as part of the motion, we'll embrace the authority for Mr. Ghany to sign on the town's behalf.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Are you guys here for 12.1 by any chance? No? Anything on the agenda or no? No? Okay, just want to make sure I wasn't holding you up.
We're new to the city.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Then we are going to go back because I think I got everybody out that needed to leave. Okay. So 9.1, noise ordinance. I'll let you read
May I?
that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mayor and Commissioner, for the record, ordinance 2024-001 is an ordinance of the Town Commission, the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending Chapter 17 of the Town's Code of Ordinances entitled Noise, providing for definitions for noise, providing for a noise disturbance, providing for definitions for noise disturbance, and plainly audible, providing for violations when noise is plainly audible at certain distances in various zoning districts, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Mayor and Commission, we spoke briefly about this item at the workshop last week. This was drafted at the request of the Commission, initiated by the mayor along with the police chief. We've coordinated with your department as part of the preparation. We've used, unlike many ordinances that require a decibel standard, a certain level of decibel meters, we've actually used the plainly audible standard along with certain distance requirements. We will work with your police department if and when the item is approved on second reading. This is first reading. I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commission might have.
Okay. I open it to the public. Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? No? Okay, I close it to the public. Bring it back before the commission. Any discussion? Yes?
Discussion.
Go ahead.
So a little history for the commission on this. It was proposed to the town, a nightclub be put at the location over on the lake that's surrounded by Park Lake Estates. Having friends who own businesses of such and on lakes, I know how sound carries, especially from a nightclub. When you have a lake surrounding a nightclub, the bass just travels right across. Then when you have the community surrounding the nightclub full of mobile homes with senior citizens, it's a bad mix. We were dead set against the town planner letting this business into the town for that reason, knowing the outcome that would follow. The former town planner sold the town out more or less and let it happen. Recently, a complaint petition was submitted to the town from the residents of Park Lake that are surrounding this club about the noise. The mayor brought up the noise ordinance, and it's targeting one specific business. The noise examples, because we are a town that is half industrial, quarter commercial, and quarter residential. We had some examples here. 50 decibels is a refrigerator or rainfall. 60 decibels is an electric toothbrush or even normal conversation. 70 decibels is a wash machine or a dishwasher. 75 to 80 decibels is a toilet flushing. These were all pulled off the internet. You get to louder, you get 110 decibels is a baby crying, even squeaky toys. So when you look at this ordinance, for a town that is half industrial, quarter commercial, and quarter residential, this is extremely restrictive, and I believe an ordinance like this could be abused. But again, I feel that this is completely inappropriate to be putting a ordinance in place targeting one specific business.
It's not only for one business. I have several citizens coming to me complaining about noise from neighbors playing loud music and so forth. So it's not just targeting one. It's to have some sort of a tool that the police can use in their approach to the problems, that when people call it in, and have some norms that they can stick to, because I mean, we need to have some set rules for law enforcement to say this is where the line goes, because of course there have to be some tolerance, but if it's an everyday nuisance, we need to have a tool to deal with it.
I'm gonna.
I actually have been woken up before by people calling me saying that the noise is too loud, blah, blah, coming from a neighborhood in back of us, which is a commercial area where they rent spaces, and the people in the spaces are installing boom boxes or whatever in cars, and so they're testing them out at 10 o'clock at night and keeping everybody up and stuff like that. And I also, on a clear night, you can even hear Gulfstreams. When they have a concert at Gulfstream, you can hear it loud and clear. So I don't know how effective the ordinance is, but I think we do need one that maybe doesn't have so much teeth to it, maybe, or gives the code enforcement maybe some jurisdiction into judging what's extensive.
It's complicated because low frequencies carry very far, whereas higher
like
frequencies
Jacob was saying, it's
the bass is the one you can hear from a long
groundwater
distance,
carries, right?
and water carries.
So we all agree we need one. We just don't know how it should be perceived. It's going to be up to the people who are out there enforcing it.
Well,
Have a common sense, and hopefully we'll have that.
Other cities dealing with the same problem, so you might have some experience on how they deal with it.
I can certainly speak to that a little bit. And Vice Mayor, you used an important word a minute ago, tool. I mean, this is a tool in the town's toolbox. It'll provide an additional resource, an additional enforcement opportunity when it comes to noise. It embraces a reasonable person standard. It is very common for municipalities to have noise ordinances. Noise is measured in a variety of means through various municipal codes. There are decibel levels, which are often used, and code enforcement or a police department will carry around a decibel meter to determine whether or not a sound violates a particular provision of the code. The other standard that's often used is what we've embraced in this code based on the Fort Lauderdale model that was suggested by the mayor, which is a plainly audible standard. It's essentially a reasonable person standard. And if a reasonable person for a period of 1 minute at a distance of 25 feet or more can hear certain noise between certain hours, it could be considered a violation of the code. If a resident or a commercial business were cited, and there are separate provisions both for residential and for commercial users, then they'd be brought before the magistrate, and there'd be a hearing process under Chapter 162. So again, it is a tool in the town's code enforcement toolbox. We would certainly work with your code department and PD in the context of enforcement to the extent that it was necessary.
Mm-hmm. I do want to just clarify, because it was stated that I'm particularly picking on one business. And we do have one of our sergeants here who basically drives through the community. Yes, I'm throwing you on the spot. I'm going to actually throw both of you guys on the spot. Are the only noise calls that come through in the city located for that one business, or do you get them residentially, and especially in District 4 and 5, which is why I look at Kaysen, because he knows he goes through quite frequently to address the noise complaints in District 4 and 5, which is nowhere near the club. But I do want to give our police officers some tools so that they can address it. So go ahead, sorry.
Thank you, Shana. Dabney Donovan, Chief of Police. No, we don't get complaints from noise from nightclubs. Our main complaints are from residents who complain about loud noises from their neighbors. I believe the ordinance says, and don't quote me word for word, but if it interferes with the welfare and the health of someone, they have the right to complain. My personal cell phone goes off when I'm out of the country, as far as residents complaining about noise. I get 7 to 8 text messages per day from residents complaining about residential noise. So it would be a tool to help both our PD and our code enforcement to work together to help mitigate this issue.
If I may just add, to credit your police chief, she correctly cites to the language, and the ordinance does provide for definitions. The definition of a noise disturbance, which would be new language added to your code, would mean any sound which is unreasonably loud, raucous, or jarring to a reasonable person of ordinary sensibilities, or any sound which affects the health, safety, or welfare of other persons, or exceeds the noise levels as defined. And subsequently in the ordinance, it references what those noise levels would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember a little case a few years ago. I read in the papers that Hollywood police were cracking down on motorcycles without mufflers. Created quite a stir because certain people think it's their right to remove the muffler on a motorcycle, and that is a I think it's correct for the police to have a tool that they can deal with it. It is illegal to remove your muffler. So there are codes for vehicles, and they have to be respected.
Okay, so with that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
Well,
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance 2024-001.
I second.
Is there any further discussion? If not, I'll call the roll.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor Morset. Mayor Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs,
No.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
And for the record, Mayor and
Second
Commission, that'll come back for your
February
second
14th.
reading in February. That's right.
Oh, February 14th, for real, Marlon?
That's Wednesday, unless you guys want to change it.
And Ash Wednesday,
Feb 2nd,
February 14th.
14th. Oh dear.
I'm just the lawyer.
Listen, I'm looking between Nelda and Vice Mayor here. Like, I don't know if she's gonna let you come to work on that day.
It's a frying pan. It's the effect of the frying pan.
We'll have that discussion if you guys are interested in moving that meeting around. We'll have that discussion. Okay. 10.1 food truck vendor ordinance.
Yeah, I thank you, Mayor and Commission. For the record, ordinance number 2023-018 is an ordinance of the town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending the town's code of ordinances by amending Chapter 15 entitled Licenses and Regulations, creating Article 4 to be entitled Mobile Food Dispensing Vehicles, providing for the regulation of mobile food vendors as permitted by Section 509.102 of the Florida statutes, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is a second and final reading, Mayor.
Okay. I open it to the public. Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? No, I close and bring it back before the commission. Any discussion?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Food truck ordinance. Again, the mayor brought this ordinance forward targeting the one and only licensed food truck in the town. This food truck happens to be operated by my family. My previous comments stand on the record with regards to this ordinance, and I will complete a Form 8 and be abstaining from this vote.
Is there any further discussion?
I believe this ordinance is mirroring what our neighboring towns are doing, so it's not targeting anybody specific.
Knowing that we have other food trucks that come into the town and at our parks and stuff, and when we have events, and so I don't think it's isolated incident or anything like that. So.
And it will give relief to Town, which is a business in our city that has a truck, a catering truck. Since they were not allowed to operate in the city for the past 2 years. Perfect. Okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion and we can.
Yeah, I motion to approve ordinance 2023-018.
I second it.
Okay. Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Morset, seconded by Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem. Commissioner Jacobs is abstaining from the vote. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
10.2 small disadvantaged business enterprises.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. For the record, ordinance number 2023-019 for second reading is an ordinance of the town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending Chapter 2 entitled Administration, Article 5 entitled Procurement by creating Section 2-138 of the town's Code of Ordinances entitled Local Business Preference, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. I open the public. Does anyone from the public wish to speak? No. I close the public hearing and bring it back before the commission. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, sir.
10.2, I revisited the small disadvantaged businesses notice and oversight on my part. It appears to that I inadvertently stated that it only excluded one, but it actually excludes two significant groups, veterans and white males. In my view, a truly inclusive approach should be embraced. all forms of diversity. Therefore, I cannot endorse the framework of something that does not equally support every demographic.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure why veterans wouldn't be operating businesses in our city. Neither would
You're not
white
sure
men.
what?
I said I don't know why veterans wouldn't have a business in our city because it's a local vendor option. So if they're a business in Pembroke Park, they get special preference
Right.
to get our tax money. So I'm not quite sure why a white male or a veteran would not be able to locate in the town of Pembroke Park. Are we blocking BTRs for any vendors who are
Nope.
veterans or white men?
If you
No?
read what this states, it includes everyone except for those two groups. It excludes those two groups out of
But
everything that's
if you
written.
look at a Venn diagram, and Pembroke Park, we don't have any exclusion on veterans or white men. So we're giving businesses who are located in Pembroke Park extra points so that their tax money goes back to them so that they could stay in business and be viable. So if there's no exclusion on businesses getting BTRs as a local vendor, I'm a little confused by your statement because I know like businesses in Pembroke Park, we don't actually have anything that would block them from operating in Pembroke Park. Correct? I mean, Jocelyn, you are like doing BTRs, right? Or is there no white men, no veterans in our BTR licensing? There's no exclusion. Okay, so I would prefer to see that our local businesses get our business. But, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, our BTR person has just said that we don't lock them out of getting businesses in the city. So as long as you've been a business in the city for a year or more, you have a preference to get your money back by doing business in our town with the town. I think that's a win-win for our businesses because we're supporting local.
Maybe you guys should read in detail into the information you put forward then. 'Cause that's not what it states.
Is there any further discussion? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the 2023-019.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Morset, seconded by Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
No.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay. 12.1 Park Lake licensing agreement. Do you have that or do
You know,
just to talk about it? I kind of have a little.
If you
okay.
have some insight, I can speak to it a little, Mayor, but I would certainly defer to you.
Oh, listen, if you got more, I just got that, we granted a 10-year with the 10-year extension and they'd like 25 years because they're spending a lot for the
Yeah,
gate.
that's it in a nutshell, Mayor Commission. You may recall several months ago, the Commission approved a license agreement with the Park Lakes Estates. It was to allow for the installation of certain access gates within the public right-of-way. At the time, the Commission, at the manager's recommendation, had agreed to a 10-year term with an option for 10-year renewals. The association, Park Lake, has come back to the town and asked for an additional extended term. They're looking for approximately a 25-year term, which would extend through 2050. The way the agreement currently reads, it would extend through 2033, which would be obviously 10 years from when it was approved last year. So now they're looking for an extended term. This is a little unique because it is essentially the reconsideration of prior action the Commission has already taken. This was a settled, approved agreement when the Commission acted, again, I think it was 2 or 3 months ago. That agreement is currently in place. I will admit I do not know whether it has been signed by the association. Either way, they've asked for some further consideration by the Commission, and the item is before you again at the manager's recommendation for your review.
I believe there was an issue that we have a town facility there, like a pump station or something right there too.
There may be.
We have a lift station in their property and they're actually going to pave it for us and have a dedicated parking spot for us so that whenever our guys go in for maintenance.
Have them make the water go away from it.
I don't know if we can do that one, but yeah, but they're actually going to have a dedicated parking spot for our maintenance workers for us on that property.
We can declare the water royal, so it runs uphill.
Okay. So are you guys okay with extending the licensing agreement for
No, I'd rather see it on the term that we gave them.
the original terms?
We could.
Clerk Commissioner?
In a future date.
Clerk Commissioner, I need you to,
Your mic.
mic is off.
I'm sorry.
We can address it at a future date, maybe when the agreement runs out,
In 10 years?
10 years, whatever.
Maybe
I
it's,
mean, I'm kind of wondering why they want
Because they said they're
to look so far ahead, 25 years or
because
whatever.
they're scared of turnover on the commission, and also because they are spending a lot of money on an investment on that gate. So they want a little bit more security that the gate will be there for 25 years.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm just a messenger.
okay.
I have no idea how much this gate costs. I have no idea what this gate looks like or anything else.
Yeah, I just just see this term end and then renegotiate or whatever it comes to.
Okay. I will be in 10 years. Is that how the commission feels? Is that everyone's viewpoint?
yeah, but I believe it's reasonable what we have suggested.
Okay. Okay.
There's no action required.
No
If
action.
the commission's not looking to make a change, there's no action necessary.
Okay, perfect. All right. 13.1, you got the information for that, the MPO sponsorship for March 28th? Are we looking to sponsor, do a table? Is that what we're looking for? I don't know, because that one
We usually do.
okay.
Yeah, so normally,
So how
Clerk
much?
Commissioner Hodgkins goes ahead and attends, and this is the same situation, finding out who would like to attend. It's normally at a dinner, but for some reason, this one's a luncheon.
Excuse me. Okay.
So it's,
I'll talk to you tomorrow about
there's
that.
the sponsorship amounts.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you guys want to?
Yeah, normally what they do is they give a table of, I believe it's for 10.
My eyes ain't that good. I'm sorry.
The site sponsor,
10, and then if you don't have 10 folks, then you can change it, but you want the authority now for it. That way.
yeah, it's 2,500 for the table for 10, and it comes with,
An ad or something.
let me see. Site link. No, the ad comes with $5,000, which is a half a page.
Do you want to add, or are we good with just a table? Or a table and a second?
Well, we've always, I think in the past, we've done the 5,000.
Oh, okay.
But you can clarify that if you would, and then we can,
That's your vote.
whatever we did last year, I mean, the year before, let's
Just ask.
keep the same.
Okay. So you want a motion to do what we did last year?
Again, I don't know what the dollar amount was, but that would give the clerk some direction and some authority from the commission.
All right, so entertain a motion to,
It's essentially approve it. Yeah,
up
it'd be-
to what we did last year, or up to $5,000, no more.
Yes.
that's in order.
Fair?
That is in order.
Okay.
I would just ask the clerk to confirm whatever was approved last year.
And the clerk will confirm what was approved last year.
I will look
Is
into
there
it.
a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve up to not to exceed 5,000,
Based on what was done last year?
based on what was last year.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Acting Clerk Commissioner Kacham. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset.
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kacham.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
13.2, I'm in work from home benefits. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kishim.
Before I talk about this, I want to say something. If the mother has 3 child, mother treat the 3 child with same love. There is no difference. Nothing more, nothing less. So for me, every employee is same. So we have 3 category, exempt, middle level, and non-exempt. So exempt people is a salary, and I think hourly people, they are doing like hourly basis. So for me, if you can come for 4 days, you can come for the office 5 days. It makes sense. Also, it's not only that. Some reason I was trying to contact with someone and the person was not there, and we needed to first sign something, and the person decided, I guess it was Friday, so Saturday, Sunday is weekend, and we have to wait for 3 days for that reason. That's why some of the project we are not never done because of the time frame. And not only, also I want to include if the person is doing for home, so why not you can come for the office. So for me, it has to be equal for every employee. So from now on, I don't want to agree with the home office anymore. And there's a 13.1 also for me, right?
Wait, no, that's all 13.2. Okay, so do you want to
Make a motion.
yeah.
No, I'd like to comment on that. I think it's important that we have a maximum amount of flexibility. There are so many cases where we have disasters or pandemics and so forth. We need to be as flexible as possible when it comes to our employees, because we're asking something extraordinary out from them in these situations, and I reject this idea that we put the clock on people, because it's getting harder and harder to retain people, and if we don't work around the family, we'll have serious problems in the future, just retaining people. We need to be flexible as much as they are flexible. Our employees are flexible. We need to be flexible.
I agree with that. I think it's you're going to really restrict people's lives when you start putting all kinds of rules on, especially salaried employees. The reason they get a salary is because they put in extra. I see everybody here put in extra hours. They don't just work 40 hours and go home. They stay, they do the weekend things, they do the events, they do all kinds of stuff behind the scenes, and you people all know what I'm talking about, especially Susie.
If there's any abuse at any time, I think it should be up to the town manager to deal with that, and not the commission. He's the one that will have the finger on the pulse, and so far I haven't seen any abuse, in my opinion.
No, if they're necessary, they can, like, if they have an emergency or some sickness, they can ask for has to be a reason, ask for the city manager for approval, and it will be okay. But also, if the person is done clock in and clock out, and something happened in outside, and the person claim, oh, I was working that time in town hall, and there is something the accident or occurrence in the against, and then maybe they can sue the town for that, and you are going to be responsible for that. If you guys okay with that, I just want to be explain that one, because every job has to be follow the protocol. So that's why I was bringing these issues, including police department also. And there is so many technology right now. Also, the last National Legal City we went, I saw some of the vendors have a lot of, I'm also gonna ask Mark to look at this project, like the vendors to contact if there is any modern technology to use the clock in or clock out option, so it will be better to give us the code. But it still is commission decided, but I feel every job has to be the protocol to follow.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Specifically asking for.
She's asking for them to clock in.
She's asking
No,
for
I want to hear from her. What are you specifically asking for?
To time to the clock in and clock out for the time several levels, like, because for me, like, I've realized the salary, hourly salary employees, they has their own clock in and clock out, but the highly salary, like exempt employees does not have this option to clock in or clock out.
Actually, a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
it was 2 years ago, we put forward that everybody, salaried or not, clocks in and out.
Yes, but no one following it.
The thing is, that's being manipulated and was manipulated by the former HR director, former town manager. They seem to clock in and out every day exactly from 9 to 5. They just add their times in instead of actually clocking in and out. So they never followed the direction of the commission to begin with. That was abused by directors and department heads when it was put forward. And the reason we put it forward was because people were not showing up to work. People were not doing their job, and they were abusing the system. They were trying to say they were working from home when they actually weren't. There was a lot of problems, and Commissioner Hodgkins can tell you we put that forward, but they never actually followed it. When I got copies of the clock in and outs, every department had listed on there was 9 to 5 every day, and there was no actual clocking in and out like they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, so basically it was ineffective.
It was completely ineffective.
So it's kind of useless to
May I?
go that way. People who are in higher positions in the town have
They have access
weird.
to ADP.
Well, they have weird schedules. They have all kinds of overtime they put in that they don't get paid for, and so there's a lot of issues that go with that. It isn't just simple as plugging your time in and out. If you're going to give somebody extra for working 7 or 8 or 10 hours extra a week, then let's deal with that instead of trying to get them to work for the 10 hours and then have to be making sure they get here.
We were trying to get accountability for employees
I understand
here.
what it was all about.
That's what it was for. So, and it didn't work because
It was aimed at
everyone
management.
who had access to ADP just manipulated the system, which was the HR director, the town manager, everyone that was supposed to be clocking in, the directors, department heads. They all, if you go through, I have the data, I requested it through public records. They all clock in and out at 9 to 5. Someone who sees ADP on a daily basis, because that's how I monitor my employees through my career.
Yeah, I know IDP has that access.
There's no way everyone clocks in exactly at 9 o'clock every single morning. It's a few minutes here, a few minutes there. That's how it works. It's no one is that accurate. But if you want the copy of the records, I put in a public records request for it. You will show that there are managers. You could see someone with the manager, how they clocked in and out, and it's all over the place. But you look at the directors, they were all 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. It was all just inputted and overridden. They decided to supersede the commission's direction.
We all also have the sick days, or if the employee is not feeling good, they can use their sick day. Also the doctor appointment, if they don't have finished their sick day, they can ask for the approval for city managers. It has to be as a protocol, it's not like however we want it to do. We also work for some other places, so that's how I always seen but here is totally different. So I just
But
want
the protocols, I believe the protocols are in place where they have to request PTO days through ADP. The former HR director stopped communicating with me shortly after she came on, so I have no idea how things were handled in that department. So as far as I know, you can request your vacation days through ADP.
Yeah.
You can request your personal days, your 6 days. Everything goes through the app that everyone has access to. So I don't see where
And also I believe our some
accountability
employee
just needs to happen.
also have the FMLA, what is called for the.
FMLA.
So they have also approval. So if they have family emergency, they also can use that one too. So there is no reason.
FMLA has to be filed differently, paperwork.
Okay.
The paperwork has been filed for several employees, but I think what Commissioner Kashim is trying to get at was, what day was that? When did we pass that?
That was in May of 23.
Okay, so in May of 23, I'm not sure if you guys have read this. We passed a, what was it called again? The management package. The management package allowed for, it did a couple things. One was it gave every higher level manager the ability to work from home at least once a week or once what is it?
But
5 days a month.
5 days a month. So once a week they can work from home, so they're not here. The second thing that it did was it gave a car allowance to all department heads, regardless of what the position was or department it was. It gave everyone an extra $250 allowance. The manager,
Are they getting it?
The manager has not implemented it yet. And so I think at this point, because it hasn't been implemented, I think we can kind of take that away, because it's not working. It's not attracting us to bring in. It was put in place to attract new employees to come into the city. It has not done that. We still don't have any new employees. And the manager basically said that he looked at the salaries for other department heads around the city, not our city, but other cities in Broward. And most of the other cities were not actually doing it. The only city that actually does do it is the city of Fort Lauderdale. So no other city in Broward is doing that except for Fort Lauderdale. And
All
Fort
right, so
Lauderdale
it's
is a
my-
big city.
Shira,
Yes.
it's my understanding that there's two. I spoke with David, the finance director, and there's two people who are getting the benefit, and there's two people who are not getting the benefit. And if something is miscued like that, it needs to be corrected before you end the program or whatever you decide whatever we decide should be done with it.
What's the insurance implications of this? I heard the commissioner talk about the insurance. When people clock out, are they not insured?
Well, you have that.
What you have on that, Horowitz?
Frolicking and stuff like that, because we're not sure where they are, if they're on a task for the city versus not. Like, we had an employee that
Can I make a
sued us
suggestion?
at one point. Yes.
That we get, have another proposal brought forward to the commission to rectify this, and we discuss it, workshop it, discuss it, and bring it back forward to the commission.
Yeah,
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and Commissioner Jacobs, and I was going to suggest something along those lines, just for reference. We have our personnel manual, which includes provision as it relates to time clocks and specifically speaks to those non-exempt employees. There also is this management package that the mayor referenced, was adopted back in May of last year, which provides for a car allowance, provides for severance, provides for telecommuting for your management employees. The conversation you're having is touching on a lot of those issues. The question, and I guess I'm a little unclear on, are we trying to unwind what the commission put in place last May? Are we trying to address certain provisions as it relates to telecommuting and working from home for all employees? Because that management package only affected department directors. So there are a few separate issues that are being discussed, some of which may require a revision or amendment to your personnel manual. I think a workshop or a broader discussion, once we have some input from the manager, from whatever backup in the context of HR that we could put together and track some of the history as it relates to clocking in. The mayor's reminded me that I think it was back in 2019, there were some procedures put in place as it relates to clocking in, and whether or not those procedures have been implemented and enforced, we may want to look at. So there are a couple moving parts and components to the discussion that may be better suited for a more focused conversation at the next workshop, Commissioner, if I might suggest that.
Yep. Okay.
Then I guess I would just defer to you, Mayor, and ask the clerk to provide for coordination for the next
One more
workshop.
question that goes along with this, because this is an HR issue. Where are we at on onboarding the HR company? This is something that they would be deeply involved with as well.
I happen to agree with that, Commissioner. I can't speak to where we are in that process, but one of the things I mentioned to the mayor is this would be within the purview of HR to weigh in clearly.
Yeah. The RFP went out, and so we're currently waiting for responses. When does it close?
Not until February.
February 5th.
It's got to be out for 30 days.
Okay, so we're waiting to get the responses in, and that will be brought back before the commission in February for discussion and hopefully for hiring an HR company to come in. So Marlon, can you put this on the agenda for the next meeting to workshop to discuss the clocking in? Also, I want to direct Mark, because I know there was a memo I saw from Yolanda Menengazo that said that ADP also did geofencing, and we were supposed to be utilizing that.
up.
It is set up, but is
set up.
anybody using it?
The thing is, they have to be within a certain distance of the town. It's set up, I believe, for the town's borders. So you have to be within the town's borders to actively
Okay. So is
clock in and out.
everybody clocking in utilizing it? Because I know there's a memo from Roel Wingo. I know that we got in trouble with JLAC as well.
So it was
for
brought
this-
forward that every employee in the town clock in and out. We brought that forward at a commission meeting nearly 2 years ago, and it wasn't, they weren't thrilled with it. But we had to have some accountability in the town because we've never had it. And this was a way to put in accountability. When I finally got a copy of the ADP records, as I stated previously, the directors and department heads manipulated the ADP system where they were in and out from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. The people who, the rest of the employees who are required to clock in and out, who don't have access to ADP, were clocking in and out correctly. So it was the directors and department heads that had access to ADP that manipulated it to where they were in at 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and weren't actually using the system as they were directed by the commission.
If I may say something, please. I just want to bring to your attention that back in that time, we had 10 managers. At the present time, you have 4 managers. The ADP system, it is available to all of us, and we can punch in and out. The discussion that was given by HR was that it becomes a liability when you go ahead and you have managers that exceed the 40 hours and are not getting paid for it. That was one of the discussions.
Wingo put that memo together because there's actually a legal memo from OL Wingo regarding that, where it said that no, that's not the case, and that that if they exceed the 40 hours, they're salaried, which is why they make more than an hourly person, which is to offset the overtime, because there are going to be times where they're not going to be making, they're not going to be doing the 40 hours, but there are going to be times where they have to meet the needs of the community and it's going to be over. And there's a legal opinion also from the Department of Labor saying the same thing, that no, you have salaried employees that are going to work more than 40 hours. I don't want another Bob Levy situation.
And Mayor, I'm going to support you on this because we use that information. The commission used that information going forward to put those procedures in place that everyone clock in and out. It wasn't a 40-hour issue. The HR director had an issue with it, but it wasn't. They're salaried employees. Salaried employees, I work sometimes 50, 70 hours a week. It is what it is. I get paid my normal wages in salary. Sometimes I get a short week that happens to be a little less. That's what salary is. And that led to this, because I remember, I mean, it's been 5, maybe 6 years since I read the OL. I do recall reading that through the packet. I do recall the other opinion that we used, because we used that to go forward when Ray Duvall and the 3 of us moved it forward. So that was part of our process in it.
Okay, so can we pull up all that information? Do you still have the what you guys did during DeVille's time? I think I still have the OL Wingo stuff, and I know I have the letter from.
I'm sure I have it.
From what you call it.
If not, it's on the record. We uploaded most of it into the dice.
Okay.
Up through
And-
the software.
Okay, and then I'm going to ask, do we still have the manual time clocks for the fingerprints? Or I know there are some that are compatible still with ADP.
Stick with the ADP. The ADP.
No, but ADP does
I
have
think
it
it's
where they can
something
do the finger.
geofencing technology.
It's in place.
Hey, ADP is
Geofence?
compatible with with biometrics. Because we spoke to a couple of people at the league at the conference in Atlanta.
You would have to have someone that
Yeah,
has
but I
access
have
into
that.
the ADP system
Yeah.
to see exactly what the geofencing parameters are, but I believe it's set up for the borders of the town, so you have to be within the town of Pembroke Park. And the reason for that was we had our sewer guys get called out in the middle of the night for issues, and so once they arrived at town, they were able to clock in wherever they were. So that's why that was put in place.
Okay. So Mark, can you look into the geofencing and seeing what new technology? I know some guy had kept calling me about it from the conference too. And
Yeah, I
thought-
do have, Mark, if it's help for you, you can take this, try to contact these vendors.
Okay.
Mark Pakula, IT Director. Good evening. We already have it set up in the system. I don't know why you
I
need
just said-
to, I don't know what it is that you're asking me to do, but the geofencing is set up in ADP. It's not changed unless someone went in
Where's
there
the
and
town?
changed it.
So it's just that nobody's utilizing it? Is that pretty much what we're?
Employees, if you pull up, I haven't pulled them up in several months now, but if you pull up the all the information, put in a records request for all the information from ADP for directors, department heads, go back to May. Pull them up and look at everyone clocking in and out. You will see employees were clocking in and out, managers were clocking in and out, but directors, department heads were not. So,
All right. So
in fact, I think I got a copy of it in my email. If I do, I will send it out. I can send it out to each individual commissioner, correct?
Can, or you can send it to the clerk and she could circulate it, but either way, you can send it directly.
I think I have a copy of it that shows an example of what's actually going on.
Yeah, and to the extent that all of the information that was referenced can be included as backup for the workshop item, I think that would be very helpful.
I do have a question though for the commission, and I think I know where Chief's going to say. Geofencing doesn't work all the time. Okay, you have people that are going to be working off hours outside of town limits. How are they going to punch in and out? You have police officers, which from my experience, you can't do that. Commissioner Jacobs, you know that. You were a police officer.
They clock in and out over the radio. They check on and off over the radio.
So they can do that from home.
And what about other people that work at
Ours
night
have GPS
or when they're not here?
So you know where they're going to be.
Okay, so, all right, so then I guess we're gonna be looking at updating our system then, to be able to accommodate this.
Which are the items that you're looking to make changes to, or is it all of them, or some of them, or?
I put in a public records request for time cards. I believe it went from May through roughly September. And you provided that to me. If you can provide that to all the commission,
Sure.
that's that item is it's a big file through ADP.
2023?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Acting Clerk Commissioner?
No, that will be all
Okay,
for tonight.
okay. All right, do you have any more directions, questions you need from us, or you got enough?
On this, I have nothing. On the next item, I have one item. I have one.
Okay. Okay. Attorney reports?
Thank you, Mayor.
Uh-huh.
I do have one item this evening, Mayor Commission. As you're aware, and we've previously advised, effective January 1st of this year, there's a requirement that all elected municipal officials file a Form 6 statement of financial interests. And we've had that conversation before. You all are familiar with the Form 1, which you filed when you qualified for office or by July 1st of every year that you've been in office. The Form 6 requirement took effect the 1st of this year, and you are, as of now, required to file that Form 6 by July 1st for calendar year 2023. That issue has ruffled quite a few feathers around the state, for lack of a better term. There have been municipal officials throughout the state of Florida, particularly in smaller cities, that have been resigning rather than filing the Form 6, which is, again, a more detailed financial interest and net worth statement. For the city of St. Pete Beach, for instance, on the West Coast, 4/5 of their commission resigned just before Christmas. There have been other elected officials in Broward County and around that have reached a similar conclusion. In response, the law firm Weiss Serota, who's located in Broward County and Miami-Dade County that you may be familiar with, last week their managing partner sent out an email soliciting interested municipalities who might want to join in a lawsuit against the state of Florida looking to invalidate the Form 6 requirement for elected municipal officials. There are a couple legal theories that they're presenting in the context of right to privacy, First Amendment, and a few other items that they're examining, and they anticipate seeking an injunction to prevent the imposition of that requirement on elected municipal officials. They're also looking at a DEC action, declaratory judgment action, to deem that requirement to be unconstitutional. As of now, they're looking to bring an action in federal court. They're looking for municipal clients, municipal plaintiffs who may want to join in that lawsuit. An email was sent out last week to all of the city attorneys in Broward County inquiring as to whether municipalities would like to join in their effort. They're charging, as a matter of attorney's fees and costs, $10,000 per municipality to the extent that the town of Pembroke Park would like to participate. That would include all fees and costs through trial. It would not include any appellate fees, and I would anticipate that this matter would be appealed, irrespective of the outcome, both to the circuit court, the appellate court, and potentially, depending on the outcome, to the Florida Supreme Court. I'm bringing it to your attention only because the matter was brought to my attention last week. As of last Friday, there were 2 cities in Miami-Dade County that had signed on. Last night, I'm aware that 2 other municipalities in Broward County have decided to join in that lawsuit. Weiss Serota has indicated that if they get at least 10 municipalities to join, that they will go ahead and file a lawsuit sometime in the beginning of February. That is their plan as of now. I'm bringing it to you for your consideration to the extent that the town of Pembroke Park would like to participate. I don't have a recommendation per se, but I am bringing it to your attention, again, to the extent that you'd like to consider joining in that effort.
People got a lot to hide, huh?
That's a matter of opinion, Commissioner.
I don't have anything to hide out of all of this, but I also believe it was an overreach to bring up that Form 6 down to the municipal level. I don't think it applies to a lot of us, but seeing how many people resigned over it makes me ask some questions as well. So, not against it either way. So, I think it's a little overreach, but at the same time, I have nothing to hide, so I'm not concerned about it. I did reach out to you earlier to see if the League of Cities was going to put on a class for Form 6.
Yeah, and
I didn't know if they were going to or not.
So, well, the Broward League at their board of directors meeting tomorrow actually had an accountant scheduled to come in and speak. He has since canceled and rescheduled due to conflicts. I do believe that the Broward League is looking to put together a training seminar as it relates to the Form 6. The Florida League may also be looking to do something similar, as with the Commission on Ethics. I'm not aware of anything that's currently been scheduled, but to the extent that I become aware, I'll make the commission, inform the commission of that opportunity. And again, you all are not qualifying for office. You don't have any elections in Pembroke Park for some number of years. You will not be required to file the Form 6 until July 1st, or no later than July 1st. It could be filed now, but it certainly needs to be filed with the state no later than July 1st.
Yeah, I find it problematic to put a value on your household goods and whatever they personal belongings. I think it's very difficult. It's very time consuming. I think it's a little bit of ridiculous actually, but.
It's very time consuming because I had to do it for when I ran for state rep, and you literally have to call every 401k, every pension you have, wherever it is, and get a valuation on it. You have to get all your valuation on your student loans, car notes, everything. You have to get the value of your house, so you're going to be on the phone with the property appraiser like, hey, what's my house worth? Coldwell Banker, do you want to come give me an appraisal? You have to value every single thing you own for this form.
Yeah, it's quite extensive. I'm looking at it.
So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. If you guys want to think about it, next commission meeting, decide if you guys want to join in.
What I can do, Mayor, if I may,
Join in doesn't relieve you of the responsibility.
it does. Well, no. The answer is no, Commissioner. It does not. But one thing to be mindful of, that's a very good question. One of the counts that council intends to seek is an injunction, which would, if it were to be granted, enjoin the state from imposing that requirement on elected municipal officials. A couple issues as it relates to that. One, there's a question as to whether municipalities have standing. The town is not required to file the Form 6. The elected official is required to file the Form 6. So there may be a question as to whether the lawsuit can be brought by the town as a municipal corporation, or it has to be brought by individual elected officials. They are also looking for individual commissioners to join as plaintiffs to the extent that they might be interested. If there is an injunction that were to be granted, it might apply to those named elected officials. It might apply to all elected officials, but that would be up to a judge if and when the time comes. What I could do, Mayor, is our office has been provided with a pro forma resolution. I can put that on our next agenda for your consideration. To the extent that you want to move forward, you'll have the opportunity at that time. Even if the lawsuit is filed, because I know they intend to file by early to mid-January, which is what I've been told, assuming they've got 10 plaintiffs who are looking to join. There's the potential to be added after the fact. So we can always put the item on your next agenda. You can consider it at that time, and if you want to move forward, we can make the appropriate steps then.
Okay. Sounds
I
like
want to apologize real quick. I just sent the wrong report. I thought this was the ADP report. This is not. This is a vehicle report. So please ignore that last email to the town clerk and the attorney.
Thank you, Commissioner. That's all I have.
This isn't the one that I got it here. I'll get it.
Got it.
Okay. All right, town manager, that's all you have for?
That's all I have. Yes, thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Town manager is not here. Commissioner reports. Commissioner Jacobs?
Yeah. In line with what I've come to expect from Pembroke Park, there's been a notable delay in obtaining a crucial police report from the Pembroke Park PD. This delay is acknowledged by the police chief, the manager, the town attorney. During this time, I've been subject to daily and verbal assaults, including threats directed at raping and killing my wife and children, along with continued vandalism to my personal property. I'm burdened with defamatory, racist, and bigoted labels on calls, voicemails, emails, and social media posts. These come to my personal business now as well, and also where I have my professional career at. These attacks have been escalating following a misleading statement made during a press conference. Despite the passage of 3 months, the police report still remains unavailable. I must question, is this the standard of service and response our community should anticipate from our new police department? I don't think it is. We need to do better, and that report needs to be completed. Also, District 3 is facing issues with lack of constant upkeep on its lift stations. The negligence has led to complaints from both residents and property managers about increased bugs and flies originating from the drains. Apparently, the stuff that's supposed to be put into the systems is not being put in the systems anymore. I don't have the detail on it, but I can agree that is happening. And then I just had a question about the HR company, which was answered earlier. So that's all I have.
Commissioner, Acting Clerk Commissioner Kishim. Sorry, Acting Clerk Commissioner Kishim.
Yes. Preserve for our community garden. The community garden must be restored because it was partially funded under a CDBG grant awarded by the DEP for the orchard and garden. Because the state has invested its funds, these two areas must be maintained. The town has contacted the University of Florida IFAS office and will be working with Lorna Bravo, urban horticulture specialist under IFAS. Lorna will provide us with resources to help reestablish the garden so that it has a successful outcome. We hope to receive a garden site map ideas for the types of plants that are easy to grow, seeds and seedling plants, and other supplies and technical assistance from her office. University of Florida IFAS has online education courses for horticulture that our park staff can complete. I hope to have a staff person complete the 4-week Master Garden certification course. We have contacted Alexa Tillett, IFAS training specialist, to request a scholarship for one of our public service employees to complete this certification. Also, we have hired a new staff person in the public service department, Nicholas Suki, who is assigned to park and recreation and will be handling the garden. He will be responsible for coordinating the garden volunteers provided under an agreement with Hands on Broward. And I hope he will complete the Master Garden certification course too. With a design person on staff responsible for the security and upkeep of the garden, I believe we'll see better coordination of volunteers, more thriving plants yielding fruits and vegetables, and hopefully expand to one day have enough produce to have a small farmers market to share fruits, vegetables with the community. Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We now have approved a Park Advisory Committee to provide input and suggestions to enhance the park and increase people visiting and using the park facilities. I am requesting each commissioner select one of their constituents to serve on the committee. Applications are available from the clerk office and must be completed and reviewed before this commission can approve the committee to begin working. You may reach D. Carper for more information about the selection application, committee involvement, and future meeting schedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll be taking applications now for the Parks Committee, and they can contact Susie?
Yes.
Yes, Susie? I'm looking at you. You hiding from me. Yes, that's fine? Okay. All right, so if anyone has any questions or would like to fill out an application to be on the advisory board, contact Susie. Thank you. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Vice Mayor Morissette?
I'm good too. Thank you.
Okay. So I just have one comment here. Basically, Susie has been taking classes online, and in order for her to get her certification in procurement, she needs a couple of classes that have a cost associated with them. The school will be Cornell EGU, and so I wanted to give direction to staff for her to basically start the classes starting on January 24th. And I want to direct staff to basically pay her tuition, which is for this class is $2,900, and that's so that she can become our certified procurement specialist for the town. So, and that's so that we can meet the requirements for the OIG on having a person here who's certified as a procurement specialist. So that is the only thing that I have. And with that, we'll go to the announcements. Special magistrate hearing Wednesday, January 17th. Workshop commission meeting January 24th. And the regular commission meeting will be February 14th if you guys don't change it. I'm hoping. I'm just hoping. I keep throwing that out there. Maybe y'all.
That Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday.
It's sporadic though.
Yes.
I want to take off that day.
Yes.
I will be.
And
helping.
you, both of you gentlemen, or all three of you gentlemen, might have other plans on February 14th. So
Well, I have visitors from
I can tell you what they want.
another continent.
I keep putting it out there. It's okay. If there's nothing else, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at 8:34.
Well, thank you all.
Someone told me this at the light.